Hello, good morning, you guys, and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please do hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. Okay, so make sure you guys please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things. Okay. You guys, I wanted to talk about straight drop. Okay, it's 5:40 a.m. Y'all know I'm up trying to decide on if I need to go to the doctor or just go to work. I'm probably gonna go to work. And if I can, hold out and go to the doctor later this week. But straight drop is at it again, okay? I don't know if straight drop has someone working his page or if he's working it, but I think they're able to get social media in jail. Okay. He's in a facility. I know they have a tablet. So they have phones and stuff. So he's probably getting social media. He may have a stolen phone. I mean, not a stolen phone, but he probably has contraband where he has crept the phone up in there. He because he did that at the Shelby County's jail. And now he's back. I mean, the core of this problem, the root of the reason that Straight Drop took this hit is peeking his head up again. Okay, it's starting to, that green monster, it seems like to me, is starting to rise again. Okay, we already know that the case is not closed. Straight Drop, though, has been convicted. For some reason, these damn fools think he's gonna be able to get because Orange Man quit was he got off. Okay, Orange Man Quet got off. He had a different jury. Okay, he had different prosecutors. He had a different attorney, a different defense attorney. Uh, Orange Man Quet was not actually out there and pulled the trigger, although I believe that he was involved, but he was not actually out there. Uh, I think Orange Man Quet had the wrong charges, so he was found not guilty. And I can't believe that a lot of these fools would believe that just because a jury of his peers, a different jury found him not guilty based on his attorney being able to poke holes in a lot of the truth, okay? Him actually not being there on the scene and pulling the trigger, they feel like you got people that are so brain dead, they feel like that because Orange Mountain Quet's jury found him not guilty, that what Straight Drop jury, another jury of his peers, uh, what their guilty verdict is supposed to be, they're supposed to be able to override that, But I mean, that's what people don't know nothing about the law. Okay, so well, Orange Mountain Quet was found not guilty, even though there was a preponderance of evidence on Straight Drop. Okay. You had everybody telling on Straight Drop. You had him on camera, the same clothes, the person that was in the car with him. I mean, you can't negate what Cornelia said just because Orange Mountain Quet's jury didn't believe that he was involved based on what the prosecutors did or didn't do. Okay. That cannot be overruled. Straight Drop ain't getting out. Not unless he do a um what's the word I'm looking for? What's that guy named Alpo? And I think at this point, hey, he was doing it before, and for some reason, I don't know what's going on now. Okay, but it seems like to me he's trolling KeyGlock, right? And this was always the root of the problem. Right before I did this video, I was looking for um that post he made probably back in 2019 or something like that, when Key Glock was with Young Dolphin. Um, they really had started popping it. And Straight Drop made a post to Teasy saying, Teasy, this is supposed to be us. Okay. So he hung out with Key Glock in them because he wanted to get close to Dolph for whatever reasons. because probably because he was out in the street too heavy. He had other things going on. The rumor is alleged that, and you would think that a lot of other men, would feel the same way. I would think that Gotti, he said he's a CEO. Most CEOs stay away from dudes that have sexual assaults. Okay. But now we've gotten to a age and time where, the only thing you could rape women and kids. Okay. Men are so disrespectful to women. Gotti shouldn't even be a CEO getting ready to sign something like him. You get mad at Dolph because he can't overlook that. I wouldn't have wanted that type of energy around my label. Gotti's label should be defunct, signing men that have sexually assaulted women, right? And he was fresh out of prison, and they was getting ready to sign him. You get mad at Dolph because he's a real man and don't want that energy around. We know that a lot of these men don't like women, but it is a lot of the women and that buy and streams and shit for their sons to listen to their music. It's the women that hang around that bring the straight men out to their concerts and stuff like that, right? And so they got mad at Dolph because I guess he didn't want to mess with him like that, even after he was hanging around Dolph. There was a guy that used to come in my chat sometime. And I remember he used to come in my chat, and I'm gonna tell I hear my right hand to the Lord. One of my friends that used to hang in my chat that worked for MPD, and the guy was real pleasant. Okay, I knew he wasn't shit, but he was real pleasant. And he would come into my chat, and he would talk about how he was not a Dolph fan. Okay. And he had a little channel, and he loved Kamisha and StraightDrop in them, which is cool. I ain't got nothing to do with what nobody likes. Okay. And I remember him saying Dolph had StraightDrop in his camp. And he knew you gonna have him around you, you wouldn't sign him. So now Dolph's supposed to do what they say do. Okay, so at the core of it, it was jealousy, and I brought him up because one of the officers that used to be in my chat said, "Block that nigga." I was like, "He real, he did block him, block that nigga." Okay, block him. He blocked, been blocked now probably for 2 years. Okay, but I think about the energy. Okay, that was put out there. You had a lot of these dudes in the background that was really mad because they wanted for Dolph to do what they wanted. Why would Dolph want to sign somebody that and Dolph had a lot of female fans that was putting money in his pocket? Why would any man want to even promote somebody that's been in jail for that? That's too disrespectful. That's one of the worst things you could do. But if you talk to some of these sissies, they'll say the worst thing that you could do is snitch. No, they giving them these dudes passes for sexually assaulting women and children, and men too. They sexually assaulting them too now. They giving them passes on that. Okay. But at the core of it, because see, I'm getting beside myself. It's early in the morning. Y'all know I was tired last night. I ain't had no energy to do this video, but I got up with a burst of energy this morning. Okay. So he's going back to KeyGlock because they was jealous of him. They felt like if they could kill young Dolph, a lot of them older ones that had him doing it was jealous of young Dolph, like Gotti and all of them. And StraightDrop and them was jealous of KeyGlock, how KeyGlock was coming up, because KeyGlock and them, they all kind of hung together, from my understanding, in the beginning, because they're all around the same age. And so they was jealous of what young Doc was doing for KeyGlock. And a lot of them, because you heard what Juke said when Doc was killed. You heard what what when little JoJo Splat and all of them, they was trolling. They felt like this is it for Key Glock and them. Now we ain't got to see them shine. We just took out their CEO. We just took out the head. It's over. That's the mindset of these crabs in a barrel Negroes in Memphis. Okay, that's why I ain't got no problem about the feds getting their asses and working and taking them down. Some of them need to be taken down. They garbage. Anytime you got that mindset where you want to kill somebody because you jealous of them and your ass is old as dirt, you garbage. You ought to be in jail or in a hole. Okay? You don't need to be amongst decent people because you'll mess their life up. Okay? Because you don't know how to control your damn emotions. So you had these old Negroes egging on straight dropping them, and at the core of it was already jealousy. Okay. Especially when somebody feel like, well, I could do it better than him. I sound better than Key Glock. I'm this. I'm harder than him. Glock scary. That's and that. I'm really out there in these streets. Maybe he didn't want nobody on his label that was really out there in the streets. Hell, the man was smart. That was killing. Okay. I'm getting ready to pull it up. Hold on. What is it? Drop God? Drop God, one of one. He still talking about Drop God. That dude I'll be trying to get his life right. He getting too old now to be stupid. Okay, so he plays this. Key Glock with Sexy Red or whatever on TikTok. He says, when you hear prices, but you still untouched. So it seems like me, he trying to tell the feds that Key Glock is putting a bag. Either he telling on somebody, okay, because y'all do know now when they thought they was gonna get away with doing what they did to Young Dolph. I had told y'all that in the beginning because credible sources told me that. Remember when them bitches was mad because they wanted to know who my motherfucking credible sources was? They would never know. But they was sucking up and using my information and fish filleting and changing it around. Bitch, I'm the champ. You bitches tried to terrorize me because you was mad because I was the most credible source. Okay? Yeah, I woke up on one this morning. All right? And I ain't talking about everybody. They know who I'm talking about. And the main one in jail. Okay? You see how God do that? But he says when you hear prices, but you still untouched. So either he's saying that Key Glock, he's allegedly heard that Key Glock has tried to put a bag on his head and he's untouched, or he's letting Key Glock know they didn't put a bag back on your head, bro. Like, because they thought they was gonna kill him. They was after Key Glock after they killed Dolph. Right? They was intending to take Key Glock out. Okay. So he said, is he saying that when you hear prices and you still untouched? Is he saying I've heard about the prices, the price on Key Glock head, but he's still out there? Or is he trying to tell the feds, I'm hearing that Key Glock put prices on my head, a price on my head? I don't think Key Glock them studying him at this point. They might pity him right now. Okay. But at any rate, you gotta know that it's some type of subliminal, because why would StraightDrop? He know Key Glock and them don't mess with him after what he has done to their CEO. Why would Key Glock and them, why would he put Key Glock on his page? So he's definitely putting out subliminals in the atmosphere. Maybe he's, trying to let Key Glock know it's some money out there. They putting some money out there because y'all know these vultures is pathetic. If they feel like KeyGlock going up, they think they can get another crackhead to go and kill him. Hey, they'll put a bag on his head. Okay. It's either that or he trying to point the feds in KeyGlock direction, throwing out subliminals that KeyGlock can put a bag on his head in jail. And I don't believe KeyGlock will put no bag on StraightDrop's head. I would never believe that. I don't think KeyGlock at this point would even it. StraightDrop is not worth KeyGlock messing his life up, especially with all of these federal investigations and shit going on. I think StraightDrop stressed out. I've been hearing some stuff about StraightDrop in that jail. Um, I I've been hearing he been having some visitations, and it ain't been from God. It needs to be. Okay, in the end, he probably gonna be praying for God to give him one. But I've been hearing he been having some visitations, and so it seemed like to me he's kind of, your sins will find you out. You have to understand, like, when you do all this dirt, and now you're in jail, and a lot of these other people looking at who knows, God knows what, people start to tell, especially as when they feel like if these crimes and stuff are unsolved and they want to get themselves unraveled. Folks they get mad at you. They start calling in anonymously to Crime Stoppers and telling exactly what happened. Or they get tied up in some stuff. Hey, they want some deals. They start pointing the police in the direction of a lot of these unsolved murders. I think when he was missing Teasy, okay, I think that was around the time, probably started feeling a whole lot of pressure about something. Who knows? Okay. But at any rate, I mean, that's a little bit interesting, but I think you need to go ahead and leave KeyGlock alone. Okay. I think StraightDrop need, not unless he's sending a message to KeyGlock that that somebody not put a bag on his head. Who would want to put a bag on KeyGlock head though at this point? Okay, because KeyGlock be in his own world, he do his own thing. So maybe it's not, maybe that's why I think, is he trying to send some negative energy, trying to put the police on KeyGlock, trying to, throwing out subliminals that KeyGlock has put a bag on his head. And before people say, well, that they don't have to mean nothing, everybody knows that StraightDrop is not going to, whoever his people are, they're not going to put that right there. That picture, that video of KeyGlock with that text, okay, unless he's subliminally saying something, okay. And KeyGlock got money on top of his head. So is he trying to let KeyGlock know somebody done put a bag on his head? Okay. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how all of this stuff, when all of the smoke clears and everything is over, it's gonna be interesting to see who's still standing. Okay. It's gonna be real interesting. Anyway, you guys, I gotta run. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.